Hello, my name is Jan Renard, and I am from Trigger Point Therapy, and today I'm going to show you how to roll out the lower half of the posterior chain of the leg, also known as the calf region. So I have our lovely model Amanda here, and she's going to turn around and we're going to show you what we're going to do. So this is the area we're going to roll, and in this area there's two big muscle groups that we have to think about. One is called the Soleus, which is a longer muscle that runs right down here into the Achilles tendon. And then the other one is called the gastrocnemius, and it's the fatter, meatier one, and again, it runs all the way down. The importance, and it does attach to the Achilles as well. The importance of these muscles is that they're responsible for stabilization and plantar flexion of the ankle. And the ankle, the foot, is the base of our body. And so there is an intimate relationship between our foot, our knee, and our hip. And when these muscles are moving well, what they do efficiently is they create the springiness that helps us move forward efficiently. Over time, essentially this area of the body tends to get ignored. Some of the footwear that we wear, high heels for example, will tend to shorten the gastroc and the soleus. And when these are shortened, you don't get proper stabilization at the ankle, which can affect the knee and the hip. Also, what tends to happen is, well, just in general, from sitting down so much, sometimes the hip muscles tend to go off. So if the hip muscles are not working accurately, something along the chain will have to compensate for that. Ultimately, it is really, really important for these muscles to learn to work interdependently. So they're supposed to slide one on top of each other. And what we're going to do with the rolling is we're going to learn to get into the most important areas so that we can get some movement in the fibers, so we can flush out some of the old tissue, old fluid, and flush in some of the new, and get this ankle and this hip to be moving accurately. So for the setup of this exercise, we're going to sit down and we're going to put the foam roller so the way you'll find your right spot is, here's the meaty part, and this is called the gastroc, and the soleus kind of comes in between. So you're going to kind of slide yourself up to right where the meaty part starts, and that's where we're going to put the foam roller. Sorry. When we're doing this, we want to make sure we are using our zones. So there are two specific zones that we have to use. So zone 1 is where I just started you with. So that's that spot where you get that insert between the soleus and the gastrocnemius, and then zone 2 itself is going to be the fat part, the meatier part of it. And just like with all of our program, we work off the rule of 4. So on this one, we're going to have is 4 rolls back and forth, and then 4 spans. So the rolls we explained, you move at a pace of around 1 inch per second when we're rolling. The spanning is a little bit different. Spanning is something where we're going to kind of roll side to side, and so what we're doing when we do that motion is we are moving in a cross section to the muscle fibers, and again that just puts a different type of ischemic pressure on the muscles, which is going to stimulate more of the fluid movement. And again, if our fibers are moving this way, that kind of helps us stimulate this type of motion, so it frees the muscle fibers and the fascia so they can learn to work together. Okay, so we're at the beginning part of zone 1, and the zones on this muscle are smaller just because the muscles themselves are smaller. So once you set up, you take your opposite leg and you put it on top, and this is going to help you get your full body weight into it. You don't have to have this leg on, but typically it is going to help you get the most amount from the exercise to maximize the movement. So you're going to lift your hips off the ground, and then again, moving in really small motion, we have 4 rolls forward and back. So forward, yeah, and then backwards, that's it. So it's a really small motion, and again, moving with using that the same rule of, if you find a hot spot, to stop and breathe into it. That will always be apparent. Okay, you always want to keep your posture nice and tall when you're doing these exercises, these movements, and really relax into it. A key part is to make sure your feet stay relaxed so you can get deep into the muscle fibers. Okay, that's 4, and now you're going to do the spanning motion. And the spanning motion is a side-to-side cross rolling, just kind of holding that spot, and that helps you get the full width of the muscle. 3, 4, good. And now we're going to move to zone 2, which is the meaty part of the muscle. So you'll walk your hands forward, and again, just kind of focusing on that area. We've got 4 rolls forward and back. Now this meaty one is where you tend to find a lot of the hot spots, so really slow down and focus on this one again. You got one more. And then when you get to finish those 4, then you're going to find the best spot in the middle, and then you're going to do that spanning motion again. And this one, the range will be a little bit bigger, just because the muscle itself in this part is a little bit wider than the soleus. But again, just taking your time and really forcing that pressure in, because you're really trying to get everything to shake itself loose. Good, that's the last one. Okay, so Amanda's going to stand up, and she's just going to walk around a little bit, and she's going to tell us if and how she feels any different. How do you feel?
Great. It feels a little more stretched out and more movement.
So can you see how after a long night of partying in your tall heels, how this will help your foot relax so you can have a great day at work the next day?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. And I say that half jokingly, but that's honestly the truth. I mean, if you are in footwear that's not ideally designed for how the body works, it is important to do something to give the tissue and the muscles a chance to reset itself into its optimal path. What we're looking for here is a way to make sure you can have optimal movement of your leg, and this will help, again, anytime you're doing any lower body running, jumping exercises, this is a great way to stimulate and get the ankle and the hips to move very well. And again, as post-recovery work, this is going to help the tissues recover faster, and again, just make for a better and more accurate motion of the ankle and the hip. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon in the next one.